Welcome to the Hudson Township Board meeting for April 15th, 17th. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. We're not going to do a fire territory update because it was just 2 weeks ago. We covered it in the last meeting. No financial report. The month hasn't ended yet. We are directly into old business. Purpose for this meeting is, of course, taking care of lawn care. We went and talked to, I believe it's John, at Landscape LLC, put it apples to apples, and he wrote out, just like Crazy A had, what he was going to be doing. It seems to be the same service, except one is $10 cheaper per week. So these are the estimates.
What's the name of the lawn care?
Lawnscape Services.
Lawnscape Services.
So
I'll make the motion to accept Lawnscape Services.
I second that.
it's Landscape Services.
Yeah.
So I will sign that and get with him and get him started ASAP.
Hopefully you can start cutting next week.
Just to make it clear, I realize in I was getting so used to, when we were just you two, asking for a motion in a second, but there's 3 of you now. I really do need everybody's vote. So, all in favor? Aye. Okay, all in favor. So I need to get back on that. Okay. That was really the purpose. So if anybody wants to make a motion to adjourn, that's fine. But going back on some other things we had talked about, I spoke to Courtney at the DNR in regards to stocking the lake. She had told me it was last stocked in 1991. There was a general survey last done in 2023 determining the fish population is sustainable. Then we spoke about what if we wanted to stock it. She had said somebody would need to get a fish stocking permit, and then would need to create a plan, whatever that would look like, and then Courtney, whose number and email I have here, she would have to sign off on it. If you have the fish stocking permit and she signs off on the plan, it can happen. She did let me know that the current population out there, she's not going to accept any plan that has largemouth bass involved or bluegill. Those are both no-nos. So that was me following up.
How do you start the permit?
I didn't ask that much. If somebody went, okay. Then I spoke to our attorney, Anthony Novak, about stocking the lake, and he told me if we wanted him to do all that legal research, it would cost him at least us $240. Of course, if somebody here wants to take it upon themselves to do all that research, get that permit, then we don't have to pay him to do that. But I mean, if you guys really want me to do that, then I gotta personally do that.
What do we have to research?
Somebody has
Get
to
a
get
permit.
a fish stocking permit and create a plan that then Courtney would either approve or sign off on, and then we would have to pay for, obviously, to go forward with it.
I mean, it seems pretty clear cut. We just want to buy some fish and throw them in the lake. That's our plan.
But what fish?
I mean, I think we should put walleyes in there.
If she would okay that, I'm okay with that. I don't know if they were staying out here.
I think they would, like I said.
I would like to know a reasoning behind the bluegills. I know in '91 when she says it was stocked, that was Nelson Hogarth. He ran the Hudson Lake Conservation Club for a short time. He had a couple turkey shoots and ice fishing derby, raised some money for Lila's fish.
May I give you Courtney's number or email to ask her that? I can do that.
He stocked 3,000 hybrid bluegills and 3,000 channel cat. That's what he stocked.
In
I suppose 1991. But
Okay.
I mean, without a doubt, I can't think of any other time, any other fish we put in the lake.
If somebody wants to run with that, I have the contact information here. If we want to have
Did you have a contact at the DNR?
That was my.
Courtney?
Well, yeah.
Oh, really?
I got your number. Well, no, I mean, I got the number for Courtney from my contact.
Oh, did you tell her to reach out to me? She called me out of the blue. I thought
She called you out of the blue.
Well, I mean, I had asked somebody in the prior conversation, I couldn't recall the last meeting, to have that person reach out to me, but I couldn't remember. And she had
No.
called and reminded me,
Oh, no, I
like,
had
hey, you
a
asked me to call.
retired CO friend that I
Gotcha.
hit up and said, what do we need to do? He said, gave me Courtney's name and number, so that's what I gave to you guys.
Gotcha. I also spoke to Anthony Novak about moving forward with vacating that easement if we want to do that. It's at least a $300 deposit, and we can expect the total to be something around $1,260.
To vacate the easement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's similar to the other one.
That seems like a lot of money.
I don't think
Okay.
it's worth it.
Then we don't need to move forward with that right now. And some people were asking me about code enforcement here, and I just wanted to say it for the camera that there is no code enforcement in the township. There is no code enforcement in the county. To my understanding, there isn't a code enforcement department. If you have any code enforcement issues, you have to go directly to a commissioner and get them to pursue it. So, just so you're aware of that. And that's. Oh, I also spoke to AEP. Still waiting on them to get back to me. They hadn't forgotten about me. I just told them they reach out to me. So that's what I have. That's what I wanted to report on from last week's minutes or last week's
I
minutes.
will say there is code enforcement for the city of LaPorte and also for the city of Michigan City,
Right.
not for the county.
Not for the county. And I didn't read the meeting minutes, but I just want to stay on top of everything. I'm gonna read the meeting minutes for last week, and then hopefully there's no.
You wouldn't read those until the next scheduled meeting.
This is a scheduled meeting. Hudson Board meeting minutes for 4/10/2025, called order at 4:30 p.m. CT with board members Wilson, Teska, and Kaczynski in attendance. Pledge, fire territory update. Fire marshal started April 7th, 2025. Financial report given. Wilson motion to accept the financial report. Teska seconded. Old business. Teska motioned acceptance of March 2025 meeting minutes. Wilson seconded. Discussion of DNR and Stockton Lake. Noted we have public access now, and DNR should contribute to Stockton Lake. Wilson and Austin to have conversations with contacts at DNR. Discussion of rainy day and rules around additional appropriations. Kaczynski motions to place proceeds from township property sale, $30,000 into general fund. Wilson seconds. Discussion of landscaping. Kaczynski motion to go forward with Crazy A's bid. No second found. Landscaping was scheduled to be brought up in another meeting a week later, 4/17/2025, for a decision wishing to compare apples to apples with bids. Discussion of donation of picnic tables. David follow up with the donor. Discussion of AEP and movement towards energizing park. Austin follow up with AEP to get engineer out. Questioned if we could get work done at park prior to AEP getting meter put in. Austin asked. New business. Discussion about possibly selling one of the two township mowers. Public comment. Pat Tolman passed the public comment. Kaczynski motion to adjourn. Teska second. Any issues with that? Any corrections we should have to that? Perhaps a motion.
We'll do a sec.
A second?
Yeah, second.
All
Is
in
this,
favor? Aye.
is this a friend of somebody, this electric company, or is this just somebody?
He has done a lot of electrical work at our house, and I've known him for about 10 years. Not really a friend that we would like get together with, but
Yeah,
I know he's good. He used to work for NIPSCO and before he started his own company, but yeah. I talk to him a couple times a year maybe, just to get something else done.
it seems like a lot of money to me.
Yeah, it does. We just need to get somebody else to give us a bid. I don't know, I have no idea what electrical costs, so. I don't know if it's high or low. I mean, until somebody else puts in writing that they'll do what he said, I can't say, you know, I have no idea.
I'll meet with another electrician, and then I've already contacted another guy that I know that does work out here in LaPorte.
It'd be good if we had three, yeah.
And I'll meet with both of them. Both reputable companies. I mean, Lucas has been enrolling for a long time.
It's $750 to install 2 breakers in a box. And,
Yeah, no, I know.
I mean, granted, those breakers, GFIs, it could be $40 a piece, but it's a lot of overhead just to plug them in.
I wanna make a motion to get what do we have to do to get the grills and picnic tables going in
Okay.
order and in the park?
Did we wanna set a minimum? I forget what the total was for the one that we were going back and forth in messages. What was that one?
As far as the grill,
Yeah, what was the price?
I think they were $149 a piece.
Okay, and then we need concrete on top of that, right, just to secure it?
Yeah.
So I'd put another $100 and we'll hopefully spend less. What do you think of, say, $400 to put in a
You
singular?
doing one or two?
2
You wanna do 2 off the bat?
right away.
Okay.
Well, if we're gonna go to the trouble of pouring bases and have a mixer and all that,
Yeah,
we might as well just go ahead and get them both out there.
okay, so
So
you,
are you thinking about different sides of the pavilion, or side by side?
After doing the cleanup, last weekend, I think the east end
Mm-hmm.
toward, like, where the gym equipment's at, I think the east end would be best, personally. If we're going on,
The wind also comes from the west majority of the time anyway.
yeah, and those spin 360, they rotate around, so if you are out there partying in a windy day, you can spin those around so that you're back, but, we're gonna be doing that work anyways with the electrical, and if we put them on that side, then that's something else that they're gonna have to work around.
okay, so you're making a motion to put in 2 grills. Do you wanna put in like a dollar amount to not exceed, or is it the motion just to put in 2 grills on the park?
Well, put it down, not to exceed $500.
$500 between bolts, or anchors, concrete, and the grills themselves. That should give us enough leeway to.
So-
Stay in the ground all winter long?
Yeah, they're powder coated, rust proof, so nothing's rust proof.
Yeah.
So the motion is to purchase 2 grills and install them not to exceed $500. I'll second.
I'm assuming you're talking, we will install them, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just have a work day again. I mean, all we gotta do is pour a couple
Dig a
footings.
hole, yeah.
Yeah, and put an extra, some extra concrete down in the ground just for the counterweight, but.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. What about the picnic tables?
I make a motion, we get the picnic tables ordered.
Who's
Are we
doing that?
ordering them?
Are we
Who's,
ordering?
who's paying for
I
it?
thought he was paying for them.
Who?
The donor,
The
the
donor.
donor.
We're paying for it and he's reimbursing us? That seems a little
Well, he's not
unnecessary.
buying all the picnic tables.
So you wanna, okay, well, how many do you wanna make a motion to purchase?
I'm still in contact with him. I think he's gonna donate 1,
Okay.
and I think we need 6 total after measuring.
Okay, and those are how much you wanna do the rectangular variety? How much is that?
I mean, I think everybody's in agreement that the rectangle ones are the way to go. You have more, square footage on the top, and
I recall they're like $700 a piece.
900, 8 something, 898 or
for
something.
8 footers, I think they're more than that.
Well, what I'm gonna be getting at is our rainy day fund is, pretty much capped out. I mean, that's gonna go over, we'd have to be moving forward with additional appropriations before I'd feel comfortable moving
Why,
forward. with it.
why don't we find out whoever's donating, because that's how this all started.
Yeah.
If whoever's donating a picnic table, let's confirm they're gonna do that, and then then we can get that
I'm
one.
working on that.
All right,
Yeah, I'll get
right?
it.
I mean, why are we buying it? If it
I-
started to be a donation.
Well, we're not just buying one picnic table, are we? I mean,
I have no problem with that. I mean, if that's used, I mean, I think it's fine to grow up the amount of things at the park over time rather than putting 6 there. And that's great, then we don't have to bring the tables and chairs that we did at the social event. But, I mean, that's a lot of money that, like I said, we'd have to do additional appropriations. That in itself, if we bought 6 of those at full price, that's our entire rainy day, which we've already started to use. Which is what I'm getting at.
I think if this person does donate 1 or whatever he has in mind, if we pay for another 1 like it, so then we'd have 2 there at least then we have, if we have a group of people sitting there, they got a table, they can put their stuff on. Or 2 tables is gonna, I have a hard time believing this, we have a bunch of groups down there at one time, I mean, 1 group of 8, 10, 12 people, 2 tables ought to be fine, if they bring plastic tables that, stack their food on or whatever, that would work, And, if we have 2 down there, it's twice as good as what we have now. And so we'll see how it works, and all of a sudden you see people standing around and if we really need more tables, we can look into maybe
the
donation.
motion is to purchase 6?
No,
No,
Okay,
just
what
two.
is, well, I'm looking for the motion.
Well, I mean, that's not gonna pass, so the motion at this point is we get 2. And then I believe the donor's gonna come through, even if we have to front the money, to buy the initial 2, I think he's gonna end up reimbursing us.
I just feel, well, I mean, we can do that, I'm sure, but I'm gonna have to figure out how to account for that. Where it would just be easier for us to buy one and then him buy one separate. I think would be easier on the accounting side, but like, I can do that, that's fine, if that's what
I
you
mean,
need.
if you have a
Motion's
contact
for-
with this guy, print off some pictures, information, and price, and say, this is what we decided, this is what we think would work for us. What do you have in mind? He says, well,
He's in agreement with what we're looking at, 8-foot rectangle tables, he's
Yeah.
just smoothing things over with his wife, so.
you know, if he says, I'll do one, you know, this is okay, if you're good with one, I think we should figure out some way to buy one.
yeah.
And start with that.
I'll make the motion that we purchase one and we provide the possible donor with the information that we're gonna buy it. And if he wants to donate the second, then he can do that on his dime. Is that good? Do I get a second?
I mean, I'll second it, I just don't think we should just settle for one table, you know, but 2, I think would be doable. I mean,
Does anybody know the relative total amount of this?
The 8-foot tables, I believe, are around $1,160 a piece.
Um,
Same company,
Did we
It's
have a
those-
printout of it?
round,
I didn't.
same company as those round ones, they're just rectangle. The ones that you guys had sent the link to with the round tabletop and then the 4 individual
Are
seats.
they
around.
metal, rubber coated?
Yeah, they're exactly the same, they're just rectangle, and they're 8 foot long.
that's a good deal.
It'll go good in there, like I said, Colby and I measured that when we were out there, for the cleanup last weekend, and, that'll really maximize the space, 30 to 30 in between the poles. So you got 16 foot of table, and then you still got 14 foot of extra room between and then on the outsides, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a half dozen would be nice, but
Alright, this is
we
what,
probably should start, let's see if it's gonna work.
so this is what I have in here. Tell me if this is what your motion is. Kaczynski motions to purchase a 8-foot rectangular table for the park and to provide the details to the possible donor to purchase a second identical table. Is that what you're telling me is the motion?
That sounds good.
Okay, and you have.
But it don't have a dollar amount in it.
It doesn't have a dollar amount. Are you
I-
comfortable seconding that?
Oh, I'll second.
Crystal seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Alright,
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to be the voice of reason, and I'll bring an updated budget amount, like what's in our current funds, to the next meeting if I can remember. Let me put that in. Because we're knocking things out at the beginning of the year. That's great, but this is something we're gonna obviously want to be cognizant of, and I apologize. I'm kind of ballparking right now.
so where is the third, I mean, our intentions and goals with the sale of the conservation club is always to get grills and power and picnic tables in the park,
Yeah.
so.
And we just, the thing is, we have to do the additional appropriation, so if we wanna start that process, tell me to start it. You wanna go through that process, there'll be some meetings
We're
and.
gonna have to do that sooner or later, especially for the selectmen. I think we need to get more bids, you know, and, you know, cause.
Now's the time, it's summer, now's
Yeah.
the time. And as I said, the one contractor I talked to, he said he had houses that he had inspected back in October, and AEP still hasn't gotten it to actually run power to the house.
Right.
So, we might not get power in the park.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
said a couple.
Well, we wanna line it up.
On ours over there, you know.
Like it wouldn't, like I understand your point about last meeting, like, let's see what we can get done with the electricity before AEP puts in the meter. But there's almost something there with, what are we setting it up for now if it's not gonna happen until October?
Because it might be $2,000 more
Yeah.
next year to do the same thing.
A week later, they were looking electricity up for me, cause I redid it at my
Yeah.
son's house. All this stuff that he's charging for, except for the trenching, And I even trenched after his garage, you know.
I'm gonna work on 2 more quotes and I'll let you know when I can meet and I'll invite you guys down.
Okay.
Okay,
Anything
Public
else old or new?
no,
No? Public? You have anything for
you
the
got anything
public?
good?
I would like the information on the side, you know.
Clean up at the on cemetery.
Yep.
Because there's a huge branch that's almost on the grave,
Yes.
and as I was down there, and I'm like, ooh, that needs to be, because that could, break it.
Break one of the stones
Yeah.
there. Well, is that on the east side?
Yeah.
Because
and
there was
it's-
one that was down and somebody must have lopped it up, but there's another one still
Yeah.
hanging?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's one by the tracks, just about.
Anybody wanna? I'm not going out there, probably down right now. Does anybody wanna pursue something on that? Or is it something for us to take a look at, see what we can do?
Well, let's take a look and see if we've got what it takes. Kobe's saying it's a pretty good sized limb, and if it's hanging that far over, I don't have anything that can control it, you know, the fall.
I mean, I can work my board with it, I can pull it to where you want it, but.
Well, I mean, like I said,
I don't have the means to cut anything off.
if it's that low, and, you know, we're just trying to pull it sideways, and let's say without a blocking tackle, we're pulling it backward, I mean, if it's too low, we're not gonna clear the
Right.
stones before it hits the stones, so let's go down and look at one of these nights.
May I
Yeah.
have those estimates? You can keep
Yeah.
the evidence for your records.
This is,
I need to make one more motion.
Sure.
Yeah, we wanna put, one more flag at the ball field.
Okay. And that was, do we know what's
We-
the dollar amount or?
We wanna put the exact same flag, except only in the 17-foot version, cause we're gonna mount it on the fence, the post of the fence, instead of doing anything in the ground.
Would that post fit? in
We're
there?
gonna make it work,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna make it work.
Motion to place a 17-foot flag
I think,
at
I
ball field.
think it's 159, I think for the 17-footer,
Okay. Do you wanna put a dollar amount to not exceed or?
max 200.
Okay, motion to place 17-foot flag at ball field, max $200, I can make that better in the minutes. Made by Wilson, do we have a second?
yes,
All in favor say aye.
Is this lady work for the,
Yes.
it's Courtney?
Alright, I'm looking for a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
I got that.
All in favor of adjourning?
Have a great one. All in favor?
Oh, aye.
Have a great one.
Aye.